Welcome, everyone. Today is July 28th, 2021. We have an exciting guest artist today. Okay, I'm really excited. First of all, I'm the host here, Sandra Alexei, and I'm from Game Changer YouTube, which promotes a book called Game Changer, which is the new model of Aquarian relationships, a lot of self-discovery. So if you go to the top, you can see where you can order it. I'm also a spiritual and business coach. And if you go underneath in the show me, my personal muse is there and you can check out the website. But enough about me. First of all, I do want to say though, is what I would like you to do is I would love you to share this with everyone because Lani has a really good message for all of us. I would really appreciate if you would subscribe and if you would comment. And once a month, what I do is I do a draw for the names of the people that have commented, and I do a free mini reading. And I'm really excited today. We have Lani, who is a courage coach. And she has a company called Lionheart, and she's the publisher and the producer. And Lani, take it away. It's all yours. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you very much for having me again. I always enjoy our conversations. Thank you very much for letting me come on and talk about, I want to talk about my first book in the Brave series. It's called Courage During COVID. And then I'm going to talk about the current book that I am just completing right now. It's called Speaking Truth to Power. Yes. And then I'm going to catch up on my third book and the concept and idea for the fourth book, because it's all in alignment, and it all goes together as a series. And I'll tell you all about that. I'm also going to tell you that I've changed my name. I am no longer the Phoenix Fall Girl. Because I was a stunt woman in TV and film for 20 years, I was falling down for a living. I was jumping off buildings and rolling cars and fully lit on fire. But I'm not doing that anymore. I have stepped away from the film industry because it is no longer in alignment with my path and my purpose or my values of integrity, authenticity, courage, and compassion. So now I am standing up and embracing my role and my path as a courage coach, which I've been doing for 4 years now. And I am doing whatever I possibly can think of doing to help inspire and empower people and encourage them at this time in the history of humanity, because that is what a courage coach does. Mm-hmm. It teaches them how to be brave, but it also encourages them. And I have a very, very important message to share about all of the good things coming, which I think that we all need to focus on and embrace, because our powers of manifestation are strong right now. And whatever we focus on with intention and passion and emotion, and we visualize in our mind, that is exactly what we're going to bring about in our reality. So yeah, I'm going to talk about that as well. The 5D focus. But the first thing I want to talk about is my first book, Courage During COVID. And you had me on a couple of months ago and I spoke about it. And, you know, this is the book, Thebrave, Courage During COVID. And this is 20 stories of brave freedom fighters and truth seekers across the country that are standing up to government corruption and medical fraud. And this was such a powerful book. I have to let you know that everything that I'm doing right now, I'm being led, I am being guided by spirit. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know anything about marketing. I don't really know anything about, you know, promotion or you know, it's not really about putting myself out there. It's about putting the concept out there, about being brave during these times when we're surrounded by so much fear and uncertainty. So developing a courageous mindset is really important. And these stories, they are inspiring and they are empowering, and they are true life stories of people who have faced their challenges, lost their jobs, lost their friends, lost their family, myself included, stepped away from their careers, lost their incomes, and they found a way to overcome that adversity. And they share their stories to help inspire and empower other people, to let them know that you can do this too.
Do you know what? The last time that I interviewed you, you hadn't got that published yet.
Okay.
Because I sent you some names for people that might want to be in. And because I need to order that. So I need to go to your website, yes?
Yes. Okay. So the website is www.ladybravenofthepride.com, and I'll tell you why I have now adopted that name. I'll just get to that in a bit, because this book was published in May of this year. I came up with the idea in February, March, April, May. Yeah, so 4 months basically, and it came out. And ever since it came out, I've sold almost 1,000 copies. Yes, but again, I'm not focusing on marketing or anything. I'm just like, I'm getting the word out there, and every one of these authors is helping to promote the book and share their own story. So this is all divine by design, and it's doing really well. If I knew more about marketing or how to promote a book across the country, then I'm sure it would do better. But like I said, I'm being divinely guided.
Okay, but I need to talk to you about that. Is that
Okay.
one thing that I can do? We'll talk about it after.
Awesome.
I'm so excited about it because it actually has the Aquarian energy, where you've pulled the people together. And so you have like frequency to be able to share the message.
Right. You're going to love this. And did I tell you why this book is green?
No.
Okay. This book is green because it's in alignment with the heart. Courage comes from the heart.
That's
right. Yes.
And the shop.
So this book is doing really well. You can get this book on my website or on Amazon. If you do get it from me, I like to throw a couple little extra things in there, some true conscious counter-narrative information and some inspiration. If you get it from Amazon, that's great as well. It's another great way of distributing the book if you want to promote that company. But you can get it from me if you like. Okay, so, and then after I came up with this book, you won't believe, after I read all of these stories, I was inspired and empowered, and I felt like I could do what these people were doing. And so I decided to have my own a protest festival. And I organized the Sea to Sky Freedom Protestival in Squamish on May 22nd. Because my own book inspired me to do so.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So, and the event was a success, and it brought together a lot of like-minded people in the community, and it shared true conscious counter-narrative information. And that was the purpose of the book, and that was the purpose of the festival, and it was really well received by a lot of like-minded people, but it was really poorly received by the majority of the residents here in Squamish, including the mayor. The mayor didn't have very nice things to say about it at all, actually, and she made those thoughts and comments public. So I addressed her. I wrote a very public letter to the mayor of Squamish.
Good.
And I corrected her on a couple of her assumptions, and I invited her. I said, it would have been nice if you were there. And I invited her to the next one. But I also opened the conversation to the counter narrative. And I said, you know, there is a large contingency of the Squamish resident population that would like to have a counter narrative conversation, because not all of us believe all of the fear mongering and the propaganda and the lies that are being perpetrated or propagated by the mainstream media, the false news. Not all of us believe it. So I did kind of give her a little bit of a poke there and say that I would be open to a counter narrative conversation. You know, I think the letter was written really well, and there is no possible way that she could have responded to it maybe appropriately or in a way that would have made her look good.
Did she respond?
So, yes, I'm going to tell you. She did not respond to the letter. What she did was she got the RCMP 2 weeks after the event. She got the RCMP to fine me $2,300 for organizing an illegal event, which we all know that it is not illegal. And I got this ticket 2 weeks after the event. And when I got it, it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing, because that was my opportunity. That was my my open door for me to learn more about equity law, trust law, God's law, natural law, step into my power, and then show other people what it meant to speak truth to power. Right? It was all in alignment. How can I show people how to speak truth to power unless I'm put in a position where I have to do that? Everything is divine by design, and everything is perfect. So I took that opportunity to start doing my paperwork to become a sovereign citizen, or not a sovereign citizen, but a sovereign. And I'm learning all that I can about standing in my power and about God's natural law. And yeah, all of the good things coming. Our future is not going to be all of these rules and regulation and the jurisdiction of the Crown Corporation of Canada. No, our future is going to be, we're all going to be sovereign. We're all going to be standing in our own power. And the way that we do that is by speaking truth to power. And okay, so this brings me to, I like that segue. This brings me to my next book.
Right.
Thebrave 2. It's called Speaking Truth to Power. And speaking truth to power is in alignment with the throat chakra. So it is going to be blue. You see how they're all lining up, right?
I get it.
So it's going to be activating the throat chakra, and this is where all of our communication and our creativity and our intention and the way that we articulate our words, it all comes from our throat chakra. Singing and whenever you're standing up and speaking out, that means that you've activated your throat chakra. So I started speaking out at the rallies. Well, not only at the rally that I organized was I emceeing it, I also did a talk about 20 minutes about being courageous and brave. But I started traveling around to all of these different rallies, freedom rallies around British Columbia. And I started standing up and speaking out about being brave and developing a courageous mindset.
Perfect.
And yeah, and then I started collecting all of these other authors, not authors, but all of these other speakers around the province and across Canada that had the loudest voices. And they were all holding those people in positions of power accountable for their crimes against humanity.
Yes.
Yes. So now the second book, Thebrave, Speaking Truth to Power, 20 individual stories of the strongest voices across the country that are standing up and speaking out. And some of them are musicians. Some of them are comedians. Some of them are all different walks of life, but they are activating their throat chakra. They're standing in their power. They're being brave, and they're speaking out in defense of their values, their freedom, and their rights.
Perfect.
So yeah, and this is a really important distinction that I think is relevant that there is a lot of people in this freedom movement, in this freedom fight, who are fighting against fear and corruption and tyranny, and they're fighting against the Antifa and the BLM and all the negative aspects and all of the negative timelines. And that whatever you resist, whatever you push against, will persist. So I am encouraging people, when they're standing up and they're speaking out, that they're going to be focusing on 5D, focusing on what they're fighting for. Instead of fighting against, fight for the things that you love. Fight for your family, your health, your future, your dreams. Fight for your rights. Learn about what your rights are first, because if you don't know what your rights are, then how are you going to fight for them? And fight for your freedom, because everybody is just complying and obeying and giving away all of the freedom that they don't even know that they had or deserve. So I think it's a really important time in speaking truth to power, that everybody knows exactly what they're fighting for, exactly why they're standing up, and exactly what they're fighting for instead of what they're fighting against. Which brings me to our third book.
Right. This is awesome. I love it.
Okay, so Speaking Truth to Power, I'm hoping to have that finished and completed. It will be available on my website and at all of the rallies by the end of August.
Okay.
But now I am working on my third book in the Brave series. It is called The Brave: Ascending Human Consciousness. And it's about all of the light workers and the healers and the shamans and the oracles and those people who are passionately and purposefully standing up and helping to elevate the consciousness, the vibration, and the frequency on the planet. Elevating the Schumann resonance. Right. Elevating our vibration means healing, expanding our awareness, expanding our knowledge, learning. Like light is information. And so elevating our consciousness is all about opening our mind. So it comes from the pineal gland, right? And this is your third eye, right? So that book is going to be Indigo.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, so you see how they're starting off green, blue, indigo, and I think these are really, really important stories to be sharing, because I'm moving away from the fight, right? Speaking Truth to Power is about uncovering corruption, but I'm moving towards expanding awareness and sharing stories of all these different healing modalities, all these different perspectives of what is actually happening right now on the planet from a higher vibrational perspective or viewpoint. Yeah. So that I've already got about 15 out of 20 of my authors for The Brave: Ascending Human Consciousness, but that book is going to be so high vibrational. It is going to be, and I don't necessarily know if I'm going to be able to promote that book at all of the rallies, but I definitely want to be able to do like maybe individual interviews and videos with every one of the authors like you do.
Right.
And I think that would be a good way of promoting that book. And okay, so that is The Brave: Ascending Human Consciousness. Now I'm just going to tell you about the fourth book and then I'll move on.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so the fourth book is called The Brave for, no, it's actually called The Brave New World in 5D.
Love it.
Or maybe it's going to be called The Brave New 5D World. I haven't solidified that, but I know what the concept is. It comes from the crown chakra, and it's all about our connection to the divine and what we're manifesting in this reality, in this time. What are we manifesting? What are we focusing on? What are we drawing into our experience? And the whole entire book is going to be about all these different perspectives of the higher timelines and the higher agendas that are currently in play right now, like Jacera, med beds, full disclosure with our galactic family, equity, law, trust law, God's law, all of these different concepts, quantum financial system, all of these different healing modalities that are coming. We need to focus on the future that we want to create, right? So the 4th book is going to be about manifesting the brave new world in 5D. Yeah. So, and all of these books will be completed this year. And yeah, I mean, everything is going along perfectly on schedule. Everything is divine and everything is on time. So that is my book series. Now I also want to tell you why I changed my name.
Right.
So, like I said, I was a stunt woman. I was falling down for a living. I was the Phoenix Fall girl, but I'm not doing that anymore. Now I am standing up and I am uniting the lions. And the lions are like-minded people, high vibrational people that are interested in healing and expanding their awareness and elevating their vibration. Those are the lions, right? Okay, so Lady Braven of the Pride.
I love it.
The word lady, to me, that signifies a sovereign. That means I operate under my own authority, that I am my own woman.
Yes.
Yes. I am the living woman, lady. And Braven is, I've always liked the word Braven, and it reminds me of being a courage coach and teaching people how to be brave. Lady Braven of the Pride. Like you said, a pride is a collection of lions. I'm all about uniting the lions.
Right.
So Lady Braven of the Pride is my new title. I'm stepping away from Phoenix Fall Girl. That's the name of my website. It's also on my Instagram, Lady Braven of the Pride.
Right. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah. Awesome.
And so you also do coaching though, don't you?
I haven't had time for one-on-one coaching because I've been
Right.
traveling around. I've been going to a number of rallies. I've been doing some motivational speaking. I've been working on these book projects. I do have a couple other projects coming up. Actually, you know, one of the things that I have coming up is this. I have a courage. This is one of my old workbooks when I used to do courage camps for kids.
Right.
I'm not doing the courage camps for kids anymore, but what I really would like to do is design a coloring book with all of these different activities for kids. And when I say kids, I'm thinking maybe ages 8 to 15.
Right.
Yeah. So not the little ones, but I want it to be a workbook that is fun, where they can learn these concepts of sovereignty. They can learn what it means to stand up against the bullies. They can learn what it means to be brave. They can learn what it means to be free. They can learn, you know, they can learn all of these different concepts that they are not learning in school right now. Let's face it, they're learning the exact opposite of all of that. They're learning about authority, control, compliance, and obedience in school. I would like to teach them in this little coloring book. I want to teach these ones to be brave.
Right. Right.
That's what I do. I'm a courage coach. So having said that, I would like to make a call out to your audience, to any freedom fighter artists, cartoonists, anyone that likes to doodle or draw or put together like fun activities for kids. If you could contact me, I'd like to tell you about my project, my courage coloring book, to teach these kids how to be brave. And I really think that this is going to be a really good project. So yeah, I'd like to connect with somebody in your audience that is an artist.
I have a few that I know that I will actually send this to.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and I'm sure they would love to do it. What I do have to say is I know you have this Leo energy, And this is all about Aquarian. And that's why I started writing Game Changer probably 8 years ago, because I found that relationships were disintegrating. And I have been single for 25 years. Okay. My children they're adult children in their 50s. Okay. And so basically I have a Leo rising. So that's where we have connect, but I have this strong Aquarian. And so, and I see things. I've had a near-death experience. So I understand the moving to the other side, the intuition, listening to yourself. Okay. And that's another thing, the intuition. And the whole thing is, this is what the Aquarian is about. And this is when you're talking, you are a sovereign being. Okay. And so the Aquarian energy is the balance of the head and the heart and the hera, the masculine and feminine. Okay. And the left and right brain. So we are sovereign. So in fact, not just like we're sovereign beings, but we're self-efficient. And what we've done is we're just like so pumped because we found our gift and we're engaged in life. And so we work with a group and we share our gift. So it's a matter of exchange. If I give, I'm going to get it back. So that's the 8. Okay. And it's so that's the infinity this way. And this way is like as above, so below. So we draw in and we work it out. And it is divine design. Okay. And so if we work together as a group, and I said to you, now you have got me excited. I was going to wait for a little while, but I'm going to have to get together. I'll start it with maybe 6 or 8 people. Putting you together, we'll do a Zoom call, okay, with people that I have all over the world, pull everybody together, and I'm just a connector, and then you guys can go off and do your own thing, and everybody works together, okay?
Right.
And that's so beautiful right now. So I have a lot of hope and I have a lot of faith, okay, in what I sense is going to be coming, and you've given them the tools. These are actual tools that they can. Plus what you do is for everybody that shares in your book, it raises their consciousness too. Okay, so it's beautiful. So, and everybody is going to be so excited about this. I share it with a group of people. Okay, I'm belonging to a lot of groups. And so, I think it's just wonderful. And I know you're doing incredibly well. This is your time. It's like you were very young and you got the street smarts, you got the wisdom, you got the intuitiveness, and then you got the street smarts, and you're not afraid. Like I would say you're totally in tune with your higher self and with, I call it source, divine, God, whatever you call it.
You know, I completely agree with you. And I feel like maybe the first 30, maybe even the first 40 years of my life, I was completing karmic cycles. I was learning lessons. And every time you learn a lesson, you complete that cycle, right? And every time you forgive somebody, you can disconnect that cord of connection from them. You can cut that cord. And every time you do that, every time you complete that karmic cycle, you move forward. And I believe that this is a time where we're all completing karmic cycles. And after you've completed your karma, guess what happens? You move into your dharma, which is your path, your purpose, right? So I have stepped into my path and my purpose with passion. And that is teaching people how to be brave during these times, teaching them how to process and teaching them how to love themselves and expand their consciousness and elevate their frequency and manifest the future that they want, teaching them not to be afraid of all of the programming and the indoctrination and the brainwashing. Don't be afraid. Okay, so fear is a reaction in the face of a perceived threat or danger. Courage is a choice that we make, right? Courage is a choice that we make in the face of that fear. But in order to make that courageous choice, you have to develop a courageous mindset first so that you're prepared to make the courageous choice.
Do you know what I love about you, Lani? A lot of things. What I love about you is you you simplify it. You know, anytime anything there's just so much with it, they keep it like that so that they can't be accountable. There's no accountability and that type of thing. And I always think I'm typically a farm girl. I'm a very simple person, okay, in life, okay? But I'm highly creative, okay? And as a teacher, you need to be able to start here. And it's like, what are the steps to get there? And I'm really excited to get your book. I'm going to order that. And after, we're going to talk about some things once we're finished here, and the new ones coming out. And so you're looking for artists for your one book.
Yeah.
And I think it's beautiful. And the most interesting thing is I've been doing a lot of past life healing, karmic healing, ancestral healing, Akashic records, all of that type of thing, which is really interesting. And I actually put it out because that's basically where we're at right now. Exactly what you're saying. We'll never reach the Dharma until we can finish off the karma. And for each time you go through, my process was looking at, because I've had so many past life readings and that for 40 years, but looking at what were the lessons with all of my different connections. And maybe I was hurt, maybe I felt betrayed, whatever I felt, okay, I needed to resolve, and I needed to honor myself and the other person. Okay, and just said, this was my lesson. And that would be a beautiful book. Or, you know, I would love you to do a session one time on that so that people understand that's what we're in right now, is kind of doing that. And as we keep our anger, and everybody says you can't be angry, you can't cry, you can't do this. Hey, to me, the shadow part, we're really working on the shadow. You know, in order to get to the light, we have to go through the shadow. That's Carl Jung's work.
It's really important that we're allowed to feel those emotions, that we're allowed to feel anger and sadness and despair. We have to feel those. Emotion is energy in motion. So when it comes into us, we have to be allowed to feel it, to express it, to process it, and then allow it to move through us. When we are not allowed to feel angry, we're told you're not allowed to be angry. So we get angry, but then it doesn't go anywhere. It stays inside of us because we're not feeling it. We're not processing it. We're not expressing it. It stays inside of us. And that's energy that is negative energy, and it's staying inside of us. And that's where sickness and cancers and health problems and dis-ease come from. Yeah. When you don't allow yourself to process and feel your emotions.
Right. Well, it's constricted energy, and we have the energy meridians. And if you do the acupuncture or whatever, that's that energy that is stagnant, and it makes you sick. And the bottom line is, people have said, like, you make me angry. I went, I don't make you angry. It's because you can't control me. I have to be able to share what I need to share. If I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry. If I'm going to say something, I got to say it. I have to honor my feelings. If I can't honor my feelings, you do get sick. Okay. Yeah. That could be a whole other session that we could talk about. And with your karma and dharma, I love those two subjects. Okay. Yeah.
And as a light worker, I highly, highly encourage people to do their shadow work. You cannot have, that's what the light does. The light shines light on the darkness so that you can expose it. Right. You have to be able to look at all of the negative aspects and feel those negative emotions in order for them to move through you, and you don't hold on to them. When you do hold on to them, that becomes a trauma in your body. And when you have a lot of pent-up trauma, childhood trauma from experiences in your body, and you don't process them, they become your triggers. And every time somebody says something or somebody does something, you're triggered. It's because you never ever processed your trauma. And Yeah, so this is a really important part of moving through our karmic cycles, is to feel these emotions and to process them and to learn the lesson and then to let go. And that, I know I said it really fast and it sounds really easy, but that could take a lifetime for some people.
Well, yeah, it could. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, you have to identify it. Then you have to prepare to it. And there's a statement called burn the dross. We say you got to burn the dross, okay? And actually, when I do astrology, I look at the nodes, okay? And the bottom line is the south node is what we come in with, okay? And so it's like our cup full. And the north node is where we're to go. And so this is held with all of our gifts, but everything that is suppressed too. And it's integrating it and moving it up and sharing our gifts. We all have these beautiful gifts. Look at your gifts you're sharing. Okay. And the interesting thing, because I've studied it for years, is it's like in the south node, you can go in and get regress. You can be regressed for past life too. Hey, but I see a lot in the chart. Okay. That's your south node. And it's like, oh my goodness, this is where you need to go to be able to do that. Okay. And so there's just so many things, and it's beautiful and it's perfect timing. And I'm glad you talked about the med beds. I've been following them for about 6 years.
So, yeah. So as a courage coach, I always like to leave people with encouraging words.
Mm-hmm.
And for any of your audience that is unaware of those new technologies or all of those, the alien technology and the alien disclosure and our galactic family, if they're not aware, or what equity law is or what God's divine law is, if people aren't aware of any of these things, I would highly encourage them to become a truth seeker. And in order to be a truth seeker, you have to go seeking for the truth, right? You have to do your own research. You have to start doing your own work. Now, whether it be your personal work, because this is a key. All of the answers to everything you're ever going to need to know in this lifetime, they're already inside of you.
That's right.
That's right. You just need to learn how to develop that conversation with self.
Right.
And that is the power of journaling. And that is the power of my Lionheart Activation Journal. And this is a 30-day journaling challenge to build a brave and abundant mindset. Yeah, so all of the answers that you've ever wanted to know about everything in the world, it's already within you. But I can give you a couple little sparks and little things to look into. If you've never heard about equity law and you don't understand what it means to be a sovereign or a national, a private citizen, then I would encourage you check out A Warrior's Call on YouTube. They have a channel. Also, I enjoy a lot of Paul Unslaved. If you look at, it's called It's Paul Unslaved on YouTube. He's got a lot of really great information, even though he's American. So that's with equity law. If you're interested in the med beds, I share content all the time about the new technologies that are coming out. And these are technologies that have been suppressed and kept from humanity by the elites and those who do not have humanity's best interests in mind. So those are all going to be coming out. They're all going to be released once we take down all of the evil and the corruption in the world.
Good.
And I'm not talking 10 years in the future. I'm talking within this next year. Within this next year, they're going to be released.
Yeah.
And if you don't know anything about that, if you're on Telegram, there's a channel that I follow. It's called Medbeds and Technology After the RV. The RV is the revaluation, which is known as Nasara. If you don't know anything about Nasara, oh my God, you guys, please, Nasara. I've read many books, but I've got Nicera 1 and Nicera 2. These are books that tell you the basic concepts and philosophy and how Nicera was developed and where it originated from and why it is imminent. It is inevitable. It is going to come very, very, very soon. And when it does, that will be known as our Nicera year. Everything is going to change. I think that's 2021. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go do your homework. Please go do some research.
So where did you get Nicera 1 and 2?
Amazon.
Okay, first of all, and it could be 2021. What I do have to say, though, is on January, I think it's the 16th, we move into a nodal position, okay? It's this North Node is in Taurus, okay? South Node Scorpio. And the interesting thing is it lasts for 18 months. These are windows, okay? And it happens every 18 years. So it's been how many years since it's been there, okay? And then it'll move to the next one, okay? And basically, I wrote on the 3 different types of nodes. What we're going through right now, okay, I'll actually send it to you. You can read it, okay? What we went before and what we're going to. And it always happens a few months before we start feeling the energy. These are the nodal positions. So this is beautiful. So you've given them lots of treasures. I call them treasures and pieces of gold and that type of.
And it's important that we start to visualize whatever your concept is of Shambhala, the age of Aquarius, right?
Yes.
The golden age of humanity, the 5th dimension, abundance, peace on earth. Compassion and love and community, true, real community, and all of these concepts and ideas that you can hold on to and embrace. If you can keep those in your mind and just believe in all the good things coming with passion and energy and emotion and just know it like you know it, because that is exactly where we're heading in the 5th dimension. If you don't know what the 5th dimension is, please do a little bit of research and learn the difference between 3D and 5D, because it is significant and we're on the middle of it right now. And you have to make your choice. It's always going to be a choice between your ego mind and your soul connection. Right. And if you don't know what those things are, I'm sure most of your audience knows everything that I'm talking about. I'm just encouraging the people that this is new information for.
Yeah. And it's new information. Says a lot are stuck in the 4th dimension, but we also even have the 7th and 8th. There's certain light workers that are there. Okay. And
yeah, so I can't explain those things to people who are teetering between 3 and 4. I don't want to tell them about 6 and 7.
No, they can't. They need to go to the 5th first. But for anybody that does have the others, because you're saying, so I'm more inclusive, it's all about you too. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's just, you can't jump from the 3rd to the 7th.
Right.
It's just a process.
Yes.
Okay. Burn the dross. Okay, that's wonderful. Anything else, Lani? I'm so pumped.
Yes, I am making a couple name changes on Facebook right now. I am under Lani Galera, but I'm no longer associating myself with my last name. So I will be under Lani Galera for I don't know how much longer, but my website is www.Lady Braven of the Pride. And I have a Facebook page, Lady Braven of the Pride. I have a Telegram page, because who knows when Facebook and Instagram are going to come crumbling down in their own corruption. And you know what? Big deal. I don't really care, because I'm going to always be connected to the people who are connected to me, like on an energetic level. But if you guys want to know where to find me, and if you want more information, I'm on Telegram under Lani Galera. I also have a Telegram page called Thebrave. And I'm also on Instagram under Lady Braven of the Pride. And I hope you connect with me. And I hope I can answer any questions that you have. But if it's with regards to all of the good things coming, research, 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 become a truth seeker, open your heart, open your mind, open your eyes, and it's all going to be laid out before you.
Love it. Thank you so much. Okay, and guess what? Please, I want you to like this. I want you to comment. I want you to share it with all your friends, okay? And get a hold of Lani. And you would be a great speaker for groups. And I can't say much about the education. I was in education for 20 years, and I would have got you as a coach to speak, say, at a teacher's convention or something. Okay, I think
Yes,
that
I am definitely open to doing that because I have been speaking out a lot at rallies, and yeah, I'm more than willing to come and talk to people about our current state of reality and the spiritual war and the difference between 3D and 5D and about being brave.
About being brave. Thank you so much. Okay, and I look forward to getting this up as soon as I can and getting it shared with everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sandra.
Okay, I just need to figure out how to